Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, our praises, honor, and the glory shall go to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rakak, Kudash, Brakatham. Double honors shall go to apostles, elders, and bishops of great millstone who continue to teach and to rule well. Shalom to the Akims of great millstone and like-minded camps and individuals who continue to teach as one body, who continue to be out on the highways and byways, risking their lives for the greater good. Shalom to the sincere Aquats who continuously learning in silence, as the Holy Scriptures have commanded for you to do so. And also shalom to the true believers and subscribers of this true gospel, for this should be considered a true blessing from the higher power. This is Azariah Gabar, representing the King is Coming channel, back at it with another lesson for edification purposes. All right, so Abaratazad, Lord willing, this video that I put out will truly be edifying to you Jakes out there. Because if you don't know by now, you got what is called the social credit score. All right, the social credit score. Because, of course, we all know about your national or regular credit score when it comes to finances. And as you guys may also know, when it comes to your national credit score, it derives of several factors, external factors for them to come up with your credit score. All right? And listen to me, it's all a rig. It's a rig. This national credit score is one big phony baloney, okay? Because it can be manipulated at any time. Salakia. And, a brother out there, I forgot his name, but I believe he was in a GMS camp somewhere a while back, and he posted a PSA or public service announcement. It wasn't an actual video, but it was a public service announcement. And it read to something of the effect of Babylon has the audacity to give you a credit score, but yet their credit is jacked up in the tune of $35 trillion in debt, something to that effect. But that's true. It is so damn true. How Esau is going to give you a credit score, and if it's not good enough, you're going to be penalized. But yet, these people, the country itself, is in tremendous thick clay, according to the book of Habakkuk. Heavy debts. Right now, it's approaching almost $40 trillion. You heard? So, what I'm going to play for you is this guy called Mike, the credit guy, and this guy is a self-proclaimed certified financial expert. He goes into, how to straighten up your credit, how to obtain credit cards, gives you advice, tips, whatever. So the title for his video is "This $200 New Bank Rule That Will Change Banking Forever." So as you hear this video, listen to this video, which is only about 8 minutes long, if you're starting to be in the spiritual know-how, you're going to see that this is going to be heading towards what? Nothing more than the Mat B, the mark of the beast. That's where this new banking rule change That's where it's going to go. All right. So again, if you're into that spiritual know-how by now, you'll see it. So I'm going to play this video in its entirety. Abaratazan pull up precepts to follow after this video. But before I play it, fair use of the 1976 Copyright Act for this video is strictly for education and edification purposes only. I'm not making a dime off this video. Y'all heard? All right. So pay close attention to what this guy is saying. Let's go.
Changes are happening with banks and everyone will be affected. If you've touched cash in the last 30 days, you need to hear this because banks just changed the rules quietly. And no, I'm not talking about $10,000 cash deposits either. I'm talking about $200. Yes, $200. This was a massive move that had a pilot run in 2025 and now it is 100% live. So if that $200 number doesn't scare you yet, it will by the end of this video because this isn't about criminals, this isn't about drug dealers, this is about you, your money, and how the system is being rewired in real time. And almost nobody is talking about this. So the big question is, why is this different? Because for decades, the rule was simple. Big money equals attention. Small money got ignored. And now that rule is dead. Banks, payment processors, and federal agencies are no longer focused on big transactions. They're focused on patterns, small cash deposits, frequent withdrawals, low dollar wire transfers, repeated payments under the radar. That's the new red flag.
Again, if you jakes that are hearing my voice are either on that spiritual level or on your way to that higher spiritual elevation, where is this heading? Ding, ding, ding. Digital currency. The CBDC. All right, central bank digital currency. This is what's taking place. As soon as it's gonna bam, be all up in your face. All right, let's continue.
And the scariest part, you don't get notified when you're flagged either. So let's talk about what's actually changed. At the start of this year, federal agencies quietly expanded financial monitoring guidelines tied to national security, border enforcement, and money laundering prevention. This came straight from executive level policy shifts, not Congress debates, not headlines. So translation, banks were told start looking closer, not just at who, not just at where, but how often and how small, because regulators realized something huge. Criminal networks don't move money like they used to. They don't wire 50,000, they don't deposit stacks of cash. They move 100, 200, even 300 bucks over and over across multiple accounts, across multiple people. So what did regulators do? They lowered the microscope. And now normal people are caught in the same net. Because let's be honest, they can never do anything right. But let's talk about the data.
This winter, thousands of homeowners are making the switch from gas to an electric heat pump system. Here's why.
They're using. Because federal data shows over $70 billion moved internationally last year through remittance alone. Most of it legitimate, families helping families, workers sending money home. But regulators say bad actors hide in plain sight. So instead of isolating criminals, they widen the dragnet. That's why banks are now over-complying. That's why payment apps are tightening. That's why small transactions suddenly matter. Let's talk about the remittance tax that nobody's talking about because this is a massive sneaky move. Here's the detail that most people missed. Lawmakers quietly approved a 1% tax on international money transfers. Originally, it was supposed to be 5% and only for non-citizens. That got backlash, of course, so they lowered it and expanded it to everyone. That tells you something. Once money is tracked, it gets taxed. Once it's taxed, it gets monitored forever. So let's talk about how this hits normal people first. Let's be real. This doesn't hurt billionaires. This doesn't hurt politicians. It hurts cash-based workers, gig workers, immigrant families, people without strong credit, and anyone avoiding banks. And here's the ugly truth. Businesses don't want flagged cash, so they stop accepting it. Now, moving on to a really crazy part, cash isn't banned, it's punished. Because cash isn't illegal, it's just becoming inconvenient, questioned, and expensive. Stores push cards, apps push digital wallets, banks push compliance, and if you don't fit neatly into the system, you pay more, you wait longer, and you get denied faster. Let me walk you through a scenario because this is where people don't think far enough ahead. Let's say you work a cash-based job. Nothing illegal, tips, side work, small payments. You deposit $200, $300, $400 a few times a week. Individually, harmless. But to the algorithm, that looks like structuring behavior. And here's what people don't understand. The system does not assume innocence first. It pauses first, flags first, reviews later, and during that review, your account can be temporarily restricted, placed under enhanced due diligence, or quietly marked higher risk. No email, no phone call, no warning. You just wake up one day and your card declines. Now let's go one step deeper because this part is important. When an account is flagged, banks don't just look at that account, they look at linked accounts, shared addresses, payment apps, transfer history. So if you've ever sent money to a family member, a friend, a roommate, congrats, that network gets reviewed too. This is how one flag transaction turns into 5 affected people. Yeah, I know that sounds crazy, right? And before someone says, yeah, but that's only for criminals. No, compliance departments don't decide guilt. They decide risk tolerance. If you're inconvenient, if you cost too much to monitor, if your behavior doesn't fit their model, they exit you. I want to give a special shout out to all my beasters out there that are working hard to fix their credit using DisputeBeast, the most advanced AI credit repair software ever created that comes with a 110% money back guarantee. But specifically to Kenneth. Kenneth's credit score went up 282 points after just one round with DisputeBeast. And Arthur's credit score went up 670 points after just 2 rounds with DisputeBeast. But let's not forget Destiny. Destiny's credit score went up 264 points after just 1 round with DisputeBeast. DisputeBeast's link is going to be in the video description and pinned at the top of the comments for anyone that needs to fix their credit. Banks don't need a reason to keep you, they need a reason to drop you. Now here's another angle nobody talks about also. Once you're labeled high risk, internally it can affect new account approvals, credit extensions, loan reviews, payment app limits, even if you did nothing wrong, and good luck getting a straight answer because compliance decisions are non-appealable. Yes, you heard me, non-appealable. Now connect the dots. Cash is being monitored more, credit is becoming mandatory, and digital transactions are logged forever. So what happens when cash is discouraged? Credit is required, and privacy disappears. You don't own your financial freedom anymore. You rent it.
Yep.
And this is exactly why this shift matters way more than people realize it. This isn't about stopping crime. This is about control through compliance. The fewer ways you can move money, the easier you are to manage. That's the real game. So here's the question you need to ask yourself, and I want you to answer in the comments. Do you think cash should stay private, or do you think this level of monitoring is unavoidable? Because once this becomes normal, there's no going back. Last part's the most important. And this is where credit becomes non-optional. This is the real play. A cash-light society forces credit dependency. No credit, higher fees, limited access, and worse terms. Bad credit, higher interest. More scrutiny, less flexibility. Cash used to protect people from that. Now it's being phased out without saying the quiet word out loud.
Yep.
And privacy is the real casualty. Every digital transaction logs time, location, frequency, recipient. The data never disappears. It becomes a profile, a score, a risk category. And once money behavior becomes a metric, it gets used. So I want you to understand, this isn't about fear. This is about awareness. Cash isn't dying overnight. It's being slowly boxed out. And people who rely on it the most, they feel it first. So do me a favor and drop a comment. Do you think cash should stay private, or is this inevitable? Let's talk about it. And if you have any collections, charge-offs, or negative items that you need to delete from your credit reports, make sure to watch this video right here because it's going to show you how AI will do all the work for you, mail your letters, and it comes with the 110% money back.
Last part is most important. But you heard what Mike said, right? He confirmed what I was saying at the beginning of this video, that cash is being phased out. The CBDC, or the central bank digital currency, is being ushered in, Jakes. Pay attention. I say it over and over again, guys. This is definitely going to affect you. It's going to affect me too. All right? It's going to affect all of us. But the point or the difference will be is when you're part of the 1/3 of the hopeful elect, it's not going to be as bad. Other than rather the 2/3 part. All right? The 2/3 Jakes. That's when it's going to affect you guys to the point where y'all going to volunteer and line up for that chip when those chipping stations are established finally. Mandatory chipping stations. You 2/3 are going to be beating each other up to get on that line, to get microchipped, especially you Jake single mothers. Y'all going to be probably the first ones to be chipped with gladness. Why? Simply put, because y'all got to feed your babies. So instead of you, Jake woman, trusting the Lord like he commands you to in these last days of times of Jacob's trouble, Salakia, and the hour of temptation, you're going to run to Egypt. You guys are going to run to Esau to be comforted. And that's where you guys will get those missiles. You heard? So let's go to the precepts. And these are the usual precepts. These are the usual suspects. But guess what? It is what it is. Revelation 13:11, and it reads, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had 2 horns like a lamb." And by now, you guys, if you've been, checking out my videos, you should know what this means. I've been explaining it. I'll explain it again. The 2 horns would be the Democratic and the Republican parties, the political parties. Like a lamb, the lamb would be Babylon. And he spake as a dragon. He spake as a dragon. So these are the draconian laws. When this social credit score is eventually ushered in over here. Because believe me, it will. Isaiah 10:1. Woe or destruction unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. Oh yeah. So again, these are the precepts that will always tie in these new legislations that are coming up and about in these last days. So remember, Revelation 13:15. And it reads, "And he had power," and who this he would be? The beast. Right? To give life unto the image of the beast. Because we're really talking about Esau, Edom. All right? That the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Yeah, because simply put, when it's time for you, Jakes, and again, that includes me as well, and everyone else that's Yasharala, when it's time to make that decision, whether to be microchipped or not, Well, behind door number one, if you take that chip thinking that you're going to save your life, but you're going to lose it, according to Yasharallah. And that's also according to the book of Revelation 14, 9, and 10. It will be the consequences of taking that chip. But then behind door number two, if you decide not to take the chip, well, Esau Edom is going to try to kill you. Especially when that time come for him to throw, cast some of us into prison or those FEMA camps, you're going to have those guillotines that's going to be active and ready. So that's how serious this is. So either way, it's going to be some type of, I wouldn't say consequence for us as a 1/3, because we will receive the crown of life. But for you 2/3 Jakes that do decide to take that chip, that's going to be true consequences. Y'all going to truly perish when them nukes come. You heard? In Revelation 13:16, here's a point. As you all should know by now, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark on his right hand or on their foreheads. Woo! Yes. We're that much closer each and every day that come by. We're that much closer to this major event. All right? So as you see here, I did an AI overview about social credit score. So as you see there on the screen, it reads, a social credit score is a government-implemented rating system that evaluates the trustworthiness of individuals, businesses, and government entities. The goal is to promote good behavior and control society through social engineering. China is a country that has openly experimented with social ranking for its citizens. All right? And as it turned out, China is the only nation that's conducting this social credit score right now. I thought there may have been other nations as well, but no, China is the only one. Okay, so let me try to see something here. Let me try to enlarge this. Boom. Game of life, as you see. Now, as you can read, it says China's social credit system expands the idea of a standard credit check to all aspects of life. Each citizen is assigned 1,000 points, monitored to judge their behavior, and rated accordingly. All right, so as you can imagine, the more an individual over there bows down to their government, the higher their scores will go. But if it's the exact opposite, and you are against its government, and you are a rebellious citizen, let's put it that way, then your credit scores will go down. And as a result, guess what? You can't do certain things. You can't travel. You can't get on an airplane. You can't drive. You probably can't even go and buy groceries. Or if you're allowed to, very minimal amounts of groceries. All right? So for you Jakes out there, you say, that ain't going to happen here. That ain't going to happen here, dog. Yeah, you keep thinking that. Keep thinking that, all right? So I'm going to close out and conclude this lesson for today. Hopefully, once again, it's edifying. So with that being said, all praises, honor, and the glory shall go to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash, Brakatham Kwam Yasharal Rise Israel. And as always, Abaratazah, Lord willing, on to the next video. Shalom.